Hello and welcome to FYI Online. My name is Kyle Colmia. I'm the director of the Student Success and Opportunity Center, and I'm here today to present to you Staying Healthy in College, part of our FYI workshop series. All right, so we're going to start off today by talking about exercise. So what exactly does your body need? Well, the importance of the exercise is nothing new. I'm sure you've heard a lot about this in your life. Thomas Jefferson once wrote that to be successful in academic studies, a person should give about 2 of them, that's hours, every day to exercise. For health must not be sacrificed to learning. A strong body makes a strong mind. And here at OSU OKC, we definitely try to promote that. The better you feel physically, the better you're going to feel mentally, and vice versa. So it turns out Jefferson was on to something. After a multi-year study by researchers at Tufts University, they found that students who said they exercised at least 3 days a week were more likely to report a better state of physical health and greater happiness than those who didn't exercise at all. This and then other evidence suggests that the real benefits of exercise may not come right after a workout, but from a longer commitment to regular activity. Most experts today, they don't demand the 2 hours of daily exercise that Jefferson was talking about. However, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends that people get at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity most days of the week, so 4 to 5 days a week. Brisk walking, jogging, and swimming, those are all things that you consider physical exercise that boost cardiovascular health. But exercise like these can also lower blood pressure. It can counter stress, which is a big thing in college. And then for women, it can strengthen your bones and reduce the risk of osteoporosis later in life. Oftentimes, if you exercise regularly, you'll discover a subtler benefit, which is self-confidence. And this may make it easier for you to participate in class and help you perform well in both academic and social situations. So what are some different types of exercises that you can do? Well, working out at the gym is an obvious one. OSU OKC has a great wellness center for students with treadmills, free weights, different classes that you can take. And the gym can be a great place to work off stress from the pressures of school. But if time on the stationary bike or treadmill make you feel like a hamster, there are other options at your college, like a Zumba or yoga class, which we do have. So find what's fun for you and do it regularly, and make that part of your routine. Hit the road. Sometimes all you need for exercise is some comfortable athletic shoes and just a road to run on or walk on. OSU OKC has some great walking trails for you to walk around before or after your classes. Or you can even do it around in your neighborhood, but just make sure you're being safe, so avoid running alone or in isolated areas at night. Head to the court or to the course. Most schools, like OSU OKC does, we have tennis, basketball, and we have a golf course. So you can take advantage of those things. They are for student use and they are free to students. So get together a group, and if you don't have a group, then maybe you can meet somebody on the court or the course that would like to share your interest in those physical activities as well. Working out at home. This is a good one for those of you who may not have a lot of time to fit in a workout during the day. So a good way to get your blood flowing is to do housework or yard work. So dust, vacuum, mop, scrub around your house, or mow or rake leaves in your yard. Doing simple tasks like these gets you up walking, bending, and reaching, and then you kill 2 birds with 1 stone because you've worked out, you've got your blood pressure up or your blood level up, but you're keeping up your place neat and tidy as well. Everyday ways to get active. So don't become overwhelmed by feeling that you have to commit a ton of time to fitness, especially if you're going to school, if you're working, and you have a family. So if you can't find the time for longer workouts, try splitting up your workouts into 15 or 10-minute increments instead of just doing it all at once. Maybe you can work in a quick session before you shower in the morning, or even before or after class, or even in between classes. You can bike or walk around campus, bike to the store, walk to the store, park farther away, which is easy to do at OSU OKC because we have such a big parking lot. You can stretch, march in place, or walk around during your study breaks just so you're up and getting active. And then always try to take the stairs if that's an option. And again, don't forget that OSU OKC has a wellness center that's only steps away and free to all OSU OKC students. Again, it's located in the administrative building on the 1st floor, so you do have to walk down some stairs to get to it, but you'll see it once you get down there. All right, food, nutrition, a big one. All right, so nutrition is big for us. While we're, want to work physically on our body, we also want to make sure we're feeding our body healthful things that also counter our physical activity. So breakfast. Here are some examples of maybe what you can eat for breakfast that are considered healthy. We have berries, cold cereal, even cottage cheese, which is high in protein and calcium, eggs, green tea, oatmeal, peanut butter, smoothies, whole grain breads, and yogurt. Those are some great options for breakfast. Now for lunch, any of these items are also wonderful options for lunch. Anything like raw veggies like carrots or bell peppers, tomatoes, a salad, or fruit. It's always a good option to add during lunch. A fruit salad, maybe dried fruit, or even smoothies. And then sandwiches are great. They give you that whole grain, and then you can get some lean meat in there. But you can even add things like avocado, cheese, peanut butter, just lots of yummy stuff to put on your sandwiches. And then you can read here, we have other main course items like quesadillas, burritos, tacos, bean dip and chips, mini pizzas, sweet potatoes, and even mac and cheese. And then some additions to your lunch plate can even be yogurt sticks, cheese sticks, whole grain crackers, veggies, nuts, granola bars, organic chips and salsa, and guac and chips. And for dinner, there's lots of dinner options out there. However, you want to make sure that you're choosing things that are healthful. And it doesn't always have to be something that's really expensive and that takes a long time to make. So using this link here, and there's lots of places you can go, but this is a good link to get some healthy dinner recipes. And usually the recipes that are located here are, again, very quick to make and also pretty inexpensive to buy. So you can just scroll down and see we have some options: fajitas, chicken noodle soup, even pizza, salads, stir fry, grilled chicken, lots of options. So I'll let you guys check out this website. It's sixsisterstuff.com. For now, we're going to go back to the presentation. And again, if you need any other help with recipes or with ideas, you can always Google them on the computer, or even look on Pinterest. There's lots of great recipe ideas there. And again, the idea is to be healthy, but also you want to make sure you're doing it within a budget and also making sure you have the time to make it. But the main idea with these foods is to avoid eating excessive amounts of fried, processed foods or sugar. If you notice, all the foods on the list didn't have a lot of any of these in them. So these foods, while they may be quick to grab, they may be located at a quick fast food restaurant, or you don't even have to make them, they're already made for you. They're really not going to help your mental health at all. It's actually going to slow you down and make you feel more sluggish. So, again, be creative with your ideas. Shop with coupons or on sale days to save some money. Just because it's organic or just because it's healthful doesn't mean that it has to be expensive. And then also use the time in the kitchen to de-stress. I always like to cook and do something with my hands to make sure that I'm kind of taking my mind off the day and doing something creative. And you can create new recipes for you and your family with a lot of different ingredients. Sleep, another huge thing to make a priority while you're in college, especially. Avoid partying too much if you're maybe a younger student or you've met some friends at school. It's fine to be social, of course. However, you want to avoid going out too late and drinking too much, because that will decrease your sleep that you get and will actually kind of shake up your sleeping patterns. And instead of waiting until midnight to do your work, make sure that you're allotting time during the day to do your work and to get it done so you can get to bed at a decent hour. At the SSOC, we have study plans where you can actually write down what you're going to study, when you're going to study it, and how long you're going to study for. So if you want any of those, you can actually get them on our website, or you can just come on into the SSOC and we can give you one for your copy. TVs and radios. Sometimes we turn on the TV or watch something on our computer or listen to the radio at night. Well, those noises and sounds and lights, those can actually interrupt sleep patterns, so make sure you're unplugging and turning all of those things off before you go to bed, and you'll find that you'll fall asleep much easier. Whoops, I forgot to add one thing there. Scroll out here a little bit. Also, you want to make sure that you try to get 7 hours of sleep a night. This is recommended. So sometimes people's amount of sleep that they need can be less than 7 hours or more than 7 hours. But the point is to make sure that you're getting roughly around that amount of sleep a night and that you're keeping consistent with that time. You want to avoid what's called sleep debt, which is similar to money debt, where you lose sleep if you get less than you need, and then eventually it adds up to where you have to kind of repay it and you have a long period of time. Whoops. Sorry about that. You probably don't want to see my email.
All right, so again, so just try to get 7 hours of sleep a night and avoid that sleep debt. Okay, so tips. What are some takeaways and important things to remember for each of the things that we just discussed? First of all, exercise. You want to just get your heart going. You want to make sure you're doing something active most days of the week. And then food. You want to make sure that you're getting enough of these items that are listed here in the food pyramid, our grains, our veggies, our fruits, our milk and cheese group, and our meat group. And then not eating as much fatty oils and not as much processed food, which is at the very top. And sleep. Again, avoid sleep debt. Shoot for 7 hours of sleep or whatever you think that your magic number is, and you want to avoid that sleep deprivation, which can lead to any of the side effects here. You have cognitive impairment, maybe memory loss, similar symptoms of ADHD, and then you have an increased risk of getting sickness and illness. And what are the results? So while we've talked about the negative things of not doing all of these things, what are the results of actually being healthy during college? Lots of benefits. And here are a few, just to name a few. Again, you're going to have less stress because you feel better and because your brain is going to be working properly. You're going to feel just naturally less stressed about your schoolwork. Also, you're going to avoid health problems like weight gain and sickness, which is going to keep you healthy throughout the semester. And then, all in all, you're going to get better results on your grades because you're going to feel better. Again, remember what Thomas Jefferson said about a healthy body means a healthy mind and vice versa. So I hope you learned something from this short FYI workshop. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us in the SSOC, and we hope to see you around. Thanks.